The cuffs clicked shut. Cold metal bit into my wrists like the chill in the courtroom. That had just sentenced me. 5 years. That's what they said. 5 years in prison. For embezzlement, they claimed. For fraud. For ruining a company I'd helped build. But here's what really happened. I didn't steal a dime, not one. I was framed, sabotaged, from the inside. And it started with my own blood. 2 months before that day, the day everything unraveled, I was at the office late. The city lights outside the glass walls blurred into streaks. I rubbed my temples, exhausted, but I had to finish this presentation. It was the largest contract our firm, Hartwell Industries, had bid on in a decade. Win it, and I'd finally prove myself beyond the family name. Then my phone buzzed. A text from my nephew, Jake. We need to talk. Now I wasn't sure why Jake wanted to meet. Our relationship was complicated at best. Distant cousins, really? Though the family always pretended otherwise at gatherings. Still, when he said now, I didn't hesitate. Back at the diner, where we'd agreed to meet, Jake slid into the booth opposite me, eyes flickering nervously. You ever check your bank statements, Uncle Mark? What kind of question is that? I replied, annoyed. Of course I do. No, I mean really check them. Like the last few months, odd stuff's been moving in and out of your accounts. Big sums you don't recognize. My heart skipped. It wasn't possible. I was meticulous with money. What are you talking about? Jake hesitated, then whispered, someone's dirty laundry's hanging over you. They're planting evidence. The name Jake floated awkwardly in my mind. This kid, barely 25, had never been much more than a tag-along family embarrassment. What game was he playing? Weeks passed, and the mounting pressure was suffocating. The FBI was involved now, and they wanted answers. My accounts frozen, my company on the brink. The partners looked at me with the same cold suspicion I felt in their eyes, like I was already guilty. But who wanted to take me down? The first twist hit when I found the email trail. Someone had hacked into my work email and sent out false invoices for phantom services, invoices that funneled money offshore. The trail led to a burner IP address, but the name attached was unmistakable, Jake's. I confronted him, and he broke down. Uncle, I didn't want it to go this far. It was supposed to be a wake-up call. Dad's money, the family fortune, it's slipping through your fingers, and you don't even see it. You think they trust you, but they don't. You're weak. His words hit like a hammer. My own flesh and blood, accusing me, sabotaging my career, my reputation, my freedom. But that wasn't the end. The second revelation came the night I was nearly arrested. I was home, reviewing financial reports, when I saw it, an account under my name, opened weeks ago with a suspicious wire transfer of $200,000 into an offshore bank in the Cayman Islands. I never opened that account, but someone had. Someone with intimate knowledge of my personal details, who could access my files. My trust in the family cracked. It wasn't just Jake. Someone else was in on this. The partner who'd been closest to me, Greg Malone. Greg had been more than a colleague. He'd been a friend. But his sudden interest in my projects, his late-night calls to anonymous numbers, they all pointed to something else. Greed. It wasn't until I found a hidden flash drive in my office drawer that everything clicked. The drive contained recordings, conversations between Greg and Jake, plotting to siphon money from Hartwell Industries. They'd used me as the fall guy, covering their tracks by framing me with those fake transactions. Their plan was ruthless and precise. They'd use my bank accounts to funnel the stolen funds, then report me to the authorities when the audit came through. It was a perfect crime, except they hadn't counted on me finding the evidence. That's when I started my quiet transformation. I couldn't fight fire with fire, not openly. I was discredited, under investigation, and watched like a prisoner even before I was arrested. So I began to plan. Each day, I gathered information, carefully planting false trails of my own. I hacked back, subtly manipulating records, making Greg and Jake believe their scheme was foolproof. I wasn't just playing defense anymore. I was setting a trap. The final act unfolded during a meeting with the FBI. They wanted me to confess, to plead guilty for a reduced sentence. Instead, I laid out my evidence. The emails, the recordings, the offshore accounts, traced back to Jake and Greg. The room was silent. The FBI agents exchanged looks. They never expected the fall guy to have proof. Greg and Jake were arrested the next day. But that's not the end. The first twist was the sentencing. Despite their arrest, the courts were slow, and the evidence was complicated. The judge gave me a harsh sentence, life with parole eligibility in 20 years, based on the prosecution's argument that I orchestrated the fraud, even with my evidence. The second twist hit weeks later. A confidential informant came forward, revealing that Jake was an FBI informant all along, planted to infiltrate the company. The betrayal wasn't just from family, it was from the system itself. Now, sitting behind bars, I'm left with the fragments of a life shattered by greed, betrayal, and a cruel justice system. But I'm not broken, because here's the truth. They may have taken my freedom, but I still have my mind. and my revenge is only just beginning. They locked the cage, but forgot the wolf was already free inside my head.